Press it. Good.
Everyone sit down.
Thanks.
Mrs. Shotsky?
Really great to see you all. It is the season, this is the beginning of back to school nights. I already did my first one last night, I'm sure some of you did as well. And it really is an exciting time in the yeshiva. It's an exciting time in the lives of your students and in the lives of your children. There's so much going on. There's so many things happening. Some of them are things that we're used to for a long time. And they're very excited, as I said. And some of them are really brand new and exciting. And we really wanted to take this time this evening to be able to talk to you. I'd say some of our more seasoned parents. If you're here, you have 12th grade students, which means you've been through the yeshiva for a long time. So you know a lot. We want to be quick and to the point. We don't really want to waste time on things that are not new or not exciting or not things that you really need to know about. We're going to try and keep things really moving. We're excited to welcome a number of new people in new roles here tonight, and hopefully this is the beginning, a great beginning to the last year of your child's yeshiva experience, 4 years for the rest of your life, or 5 years since 12 years ago, or even before 12 years ago, so it's even more than that. And we're really excited about putting a fantastic end to that experience and for them to really be set up for life beyond. So that's what this night is about. Thank you for coming. Thank you for listening. It's an ongoing conversation, as Rabbi Galbert's going to explain to you, and looking forward to a great year. Thank you, guys.
Good evening, everyone. So for those who don't know me, Rabbi Galbert, I am the assistant principal here, and I'm also the 12th grade principal. So I oversee the 12th grade and deal with your children every single day. I have the pleasure of doing that. The conversation started a couple years ago when your children were freshmen. They come into this building, see new things, new experiences, new classes. Over the years, hopefully they've developed their friends, they've developed their talents, their interests, their passions, but they're not done. They still have this culminating year, and we are here to partner with you just like we did as they entered the building. As they leave the building, we're also here to partner with you. There's a lot of new things that take place as seniors, as you're going to hear tonight from a number of different people. And we want to be there to help guide you along the way, to answer any questions that you might have about the next steps that they're going to have in life. We're going to meet a few different new key personalities tonight. We're going to talk about the added responsibilities that seniors have as leaders, as role models, as older people in the building, other opportunities that they have specifically as seniors for their academics, because we talk about the different things that we have for them in their classes in the building, as well as outside the classroom. There are many different opportunities that they have. But we also want to make sure that they don't fall into certain pitfalls in order for them to succeed. There are a couple of seats in front. It's like class, no one wants to sit in the front of the room. So there are a bunch of seats here in the front. And then we're going to talk about the next steps, whether it be going to Israel, going to college, and we have a great support system that's here to help them. And we also would like to get some feedback from questions because, again, we are partners with you. We can't do it without you, and we're here to help you, and we want to hear feedback and questions that you might have. Okay? So along the process, I do have to iterate, I'm going to say this multiple times, we have a great support system, many people within the building here to support your children every single day. I really want to introduce two key people that we have here, the senior grade advisors. So we have Mrs. Connie Zoltzman and Mr. Justin Engel, who work with the girls and the boys. They're going to be the prime members that you're going to be talking to every single day. If you have any questions, any concerns, please reach out to them. They're going to definitely reach out to you if there are any issues. So please make sure to reach out to them. And they're going to take it away from here.
I don't know why I'm so nervous. I'm not nervous like this with your children. It's very nice to see so many parents. We should really thank you for coming because you showed that you're caring. First, I want to tell you my accent. I'll tell you bonsoir, and you understand what it is. Okay, that's it. As Rabbi Galpert said, we really, I I think we're partners in the education of your children, and we have one goal is to take them to graduation in a very happy, safe environment, but it's a school as well, so we're here to make sure, to guide them every day. We're here to advise them as great advisors, Mr. Engel and myself. We have expectations from them, they're seniors, so they're very, very comfortable in the building, they're very comfortable with everything, and we want to make it a very nice experience for them, but we want them also to, continue following the rules, etc. So I'll say it's very important for your children to be in school. They might tell you we're not learning anything, we're having fun, yes, we do have a lot of fun, true, but we have school, and it starts at 7:30 for Minyan, and then they have classes, they need to be in class, and actually it becomes very stressful for them at one point, at least this semester, when they have to apply for college, when they have a lot of work to do. So they also need your support, but they need to know that you know what I told you tonight, that they have, that school is going on for them until June. We take care of them here the whole day until we try our best to take them until June. And we, at the same time, as I explained them the first day, we want them to be leaders. They have leadership roles, and they're role models to the school. And we stress on this a lot, that they're the oldest now in the school, like the big sisters and big brothers. And we want them to take on roles of leadership, and at the same time to be role models to the school, which involves everything, to follow all the rules as well as the dress code, attendance, be a good citizen of Yeshiva of Flatbush. We thank you for your partnership. You could contact me on my email, Zaltzman_TV, the whole thing after, or extension 153. I usually answer my emails, pretty, when I'm not busy here, I take the time to look at my emails. You could always leave a message in the office and we'll get back to you as well. But we're really looking forward to have a wonderful year together and to see you at graduation where you'll have a lot of knockouts from your graduates. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Justin Engel, and I will be working with your sons. And I just want to take the opportunity to, again, thank you for coming, as Ms. Alston said, and to thank you for partnering with us and to giving us your children for these past 4 years and for allowing me to work with them. It really is a great pleasure. I've only, been working really with them for the past few days, and getting to know them has been a privilege. So Ms. Alston said that we keep them busy for the entire day. So basically, I just want to give a kind of like a rundown of what goes on academically, and then I'll hand it over to Rabbi Galpert again. So basically, just in general, social studies, that's where I teach. I teach history, so we're talking about civics and Israel and world relations and financial literacy, so as they go off into college and beyond, that they are responsible citizens of the world as, part of the Jewish community and for themselves and their families. Talking about in English, resume writing and essay writing, help them with their college applications. And also, at the end of the year, they have a fairly large capstone project, which basically is research in action. And we're talking about Jewish history, exploring contemporary and modern issues in Jewish history, and halakha, which is basically talking about real life, real things in terms of practical, everyday kashrut and marriage. We're talking about traditional Talmud and Chumash classes, as well as our Inquiry Beit Midrash program, which Ms. Alston and I also are co-directors of. Electives, the traditional first period, first period, 10th period, 11th period, traditional electives, but also adding in an 8th period elective session, so that way our students have more choice. And just an example for those 8th period electives, talking about business math, fashion and design, data analysis, chesed and entrepreneurship. So basically giving your children, our students, a vast array of academic choice as well as experiences that we hope will help them develop into the young men and women who will be going out and voting in next elections and doing all the things that we want them to be able to do as citizens. And I thank you again. Have a great night, and I look forward to a wonderful partnership with you. My email address is jengel_te, and my extension is 208. Have a great year, everybody.
As Mr. Engel said, there's something taking place every single day, but I want to give everybody an opportunity to come in. There are plenty of seats here in the front and on the side, so feel free to go away. Everybody can come in. Here, there's seats on the side. If everyone can just move in a little bit, so people can move to the side. Every single day in the classroom. You might hear as seniors, Alice has mentioned, nothing's going on. I learned I worked hard for the past 3 years. I can take a break. I often say, and this I actually said to the seniors on the first day, high school is like a marathon. They're running, they work hard, and now they turn the corner and they finally see it. They see the finish line. But that end point is actually the hardest. The last mile in a marathon is the hardest. Why? Because your body is breaking down. You ran so many miles. You're tired. You worked hard. Your feet are giving up. But you see it. You see the end. And that's the moment you have to tell yourself that I could do it. That I have to put in all my strength, all the work that I put in all these years. I'm going to be able to get to that finish line. But it takes that grit, it takes that perspective in order to get there. But sometimes we have those pitfalls. Sometimes we can fall into say, no, it's going to be okay. I worked hard, it's going to take it easy this year. And I can tell you that senior year, especially the first semester, is the hardest semester. Because students have their academics to take care of, they have their social lives, they have their leadership responsibilities they have college and Israel applications they have to deal with. Now is the time to say to themselves, let me push even more. I work so hard, yes, I'm tired, yes, I work so hard, but now let me show off what I could do to get to that finish line. And we want to make sure that they don't fall off, that they cross that finish line, that we're here to support you and cheer you on. So what do they have to do? Like we said, show up every single day. We have classes and programming going on to the end of the year. What's the end of the year? June. I know you pay a lot of money to send your children here. Get your money's worth to make sure your children are coming to school every single day. Even in May, we have programming for them. We have classes going on. We have speakers going on. We have programs that they're going to be doing every single day. So make sure that they're here. They shouldn't be going on vacations or trips. They could do that after school. They could do that when they don't have classes going on because we have such programming going on every single day. I do have to mention, and this is the serious part of the conversation, right? As a school, we don't tolerate any silliness. We believe in a school that's safe and secure for all of our students, all of our staff. And we were very serious and we told our students, and I told them, we don't tolerate any pranks, any serious silliness. And I want to tell you to also that we're on that same page. We live in a crazy world with crazy things that happen every day. And we have to know that you trust us to send your children every day to a safe space. And we want to keep it that way. So we do not tolerate any pranks, any silliness, and they're going to face severe consequences if that's the case. Anybody who does it, supports it, even stands by and doesn't say, no, this is not the right thing to do. Okay? That was the serious part. But we want to make sure, again, that marathon, that finish line, we want them to cross. We want them to be there. We're going to be the ones supporting them on June 13th. And we have so many people who are going to be clapping along the way. And we're here with you to support you. Now we have a future. We want to think as soon as they cross that finish line, we want to think what's next. And there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of questions of what I'll be, where I'll go, how I'll do it. And we're here to support you as well. It's not just coming into high school, but it's also leaving high school and beyond. So we have key personalities that we're going to introduce you to again now here, Mrs. Rialgas and Rabbi Avi Harari, who are our Israel guidance team, and they're going to discuss the Israel application process and everything that's involved.
Hi everyone, I'm Rabbi Harari. I wanted to just for a moment talk to you about transitions. If we're all familiar with the difficulty of transitions. Just an hour ago, I experienced the difficulty of transitions. I was home, it was time for dinner, and calling my children to the table, stopping them from what they were doing, was a transition which led to a breakdown in my home. Transitions are when it's time to get into the car. Transitions, though, in the real sense in life, are when we go from one stage to the next. When we go from one job to another. One stage in life in which we're living and feeling one way to another. Transitions are always difficult. Leaving high school and setting sights on the future is a transition time. The opportunity at that time, transition period, to take advantage, to be able to experience a year in Israel at Yeshiva Flatbush, we find to be an opportunity which is indispensable. It's not to say, and I know you're saying it to yourself, many of you, that it's for everyone. It's not. It might not be for you, it might not be for your child, but to not give it a chance, to not open your mind, your ears, to hear about it, to learn about it, I think would be shortchanging your own child's experience, their opportunity to take advantage of a difficult and sensitive transition. So together with Mrs. Wialgas, we'd like to present briefly some of the basic questions that you might have with regards to going to Israel for the year. I want to tell you that in the past, this talk has been more difficult for me than it is now. This past year, 29 girls went to Israel and 33 and counting boys. All right, so now 30,000 boys, 38 boys and 33 girls, which means to say it's in vogue. It's what people are doing. It's kind of easy for me to sell it then. But I'm not searching, neither is Ms. Wialgas, to sell you on it. We just ask that you give it an opportunity, that you be open to it because it might be right for your child. Transitions are never simple. To be able to take a sensitive period, a difficult time in your life, in your child's life, and use it as an opportunity to grow, to find answers to questions, to experience a land that we all yearn to experience, to involve and engage themselves in a culture that might be important or is important to each of us. And in the most basic and relative sense, to be able to immerse themselves in serious study of Torah, in my opinion, in the school, in the yeshiva's opinion, it's just too important to turn our minds, our hearts, our ears away from. So with that, the presentation.
Hello, everybody. First of all, thank you all so much for coming. We have a captive audience, so we're really excited to present the top 10 reasons and the objections you have to going to Israel. Before I start, I just want to say that I teach Jewish history. I teach just about all the seniors, and I promise you, this grade is spectacular. I come to school today, I love them. They are a delicious group of kids, and I am so excited to be spending the year with them. And that's another reason why I think that I'm going to beg to differ with Rabbi Harari. We are going to sell you on this because your kids are terrific kids. Many of whom, perhaps most of whom, would benefit from a fabulous year in Israel. So why spend a gap year in Israel? I know what you're thinking. Seriously? Horrifying. I won't even send my kids to sleepaway camp? You want me to send them for a whole year to Israel? Seriously? No. I'm nervous about security. Israel, terrorists. I'm afraid my child will get too religious or they're going to flip out. And they're going to come home and be different people. And we don't like that. Yeah. It's expensive. I mean, I've been spending $1 million in Flatbush, now you want to spend another $1 million per year in Israel? Are there scholarships available? How can I afford this? I'll miss him or her too much, seriously? You know, I'm Ashkenaz. When I send my kids to sleepaway camp, we're singing and dancing. And I see those 2.3 Syrian parents who send their kids on the bus. it's not our Mitzvah. We don't do that. We're all say, it's not our way. It's not our way. We just don't. It's not with the girls. So we're here to tell you, we hear you. We hear you. Those are objections. They're good objections. But we've got reasons why you should consider sending your kid to Israel for the act. Number one, spending a year in Israel strengthens both your child's Jewish identity and commitment to observance and tradition. They're all going to college. They're all going after the big world. I don't have to tell you, we live in crazy times. The world out there is crazy. And the values of the world out there at large, both especially on the college campus, do not necessarily reflect the values of our community, our traditions, our Masada. And that's why sending your kid to Israel is the single best way to prepare your child for the challenges of the college campus and for the bigger world out there. That's number one. Number two, this is maybe number one. Your child will mature and gain a healthy degree of independence, and best of all, they will learn to make their own beds every morning. They will learn to live with other people in a tiny little room with very little closet space, and best part, they will do their own laundry. More young men and women will come home knowing how to clean up their room, do their laundry, look after themselves, make plans for Shabbat, maybe even cook a little bit. Every year, I visit the college is amazing. They send Rabbi Harari and I in January to visit the students, and I spend the week with the kids. We sit in on classes, and there are always parents who come in January. This is my experience every year. A mother will come up and button and she goes, oh my God, my brain is on fire. I never heard anything like this. The learning in Israel is so extraordinary, both yeshivot and the little seminaries. You will be taught, your child will be taught by the best teachers in the world. People who have written Sfarim, people who are the greatest minds in Tanakh and Talmud and Jewish history. And the learning that goes on to take the best class you've ever had in Flatbush in high school, multiply that by 27, that's how good those classes are. And I've had parents say to me, I wish I had gone to Israel. I wish there was a seminary for moms. It is extraordinary. The learning there is simply extraordinary. Your kids will learn techniques that will take them through a lifelong love of learning. Of course, as Rabbi Harari said, Eretz Yisrael. I mean, you get to explore the length and breadth of Israel. You see the stories from Tanakh that come alive before your eyes. My favorite quote by Rav Kook, when someone said to him, you know, the mountains of Switzerland are more beautiful than in Israel. He said, it's true, they're higher and taller, but in Israel, you have to speak to me. Every step you take is a step in a land where Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov traversed. It's incredible. It becomes alive. 5. We are, to quote the famous historian, the spoiled brats of Jewish history. Never before in Jewish history have we had the opportunity to see the ingathering of the exiles, the coming back to Eretz Yisrael. Israel is our spiritual and physical home. It's the place where heaven meets earth, the place where every Jew, every Jewish boy and girl meets his potential. We can show our appreciation to Hashem for Medinat Yisrael, for the state of Israel, by allowing and encouraging our children to spend a year living and learning in Eretz Yisrael. That's reason number 5. Reason 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's continue the conversation. Harari and I are always available to you. We will be planning on having meetings with parents where you can ask us questions about various programs. And that's it.
Just to reiterate that, we're going to, for more details with regards to the process, with regards to what the advantages, disadvantages that might be best suited or least suited for your children. We'd like to meet together, have a meeting, a parlor meeting of sorts, in order to address those sorts of issues, as well as setting up probably Zoom meetings with some of the more popular yeshivot over the course of the next few months.
There are seats in the front on this side. If you'd like to come in, there are seats.
There's seats. All right. Anyway, I'm sort of in the face, but not that. We'll take like a deep breath because that was a lot. I'm Rabbi Slaren. Last year was my first year, and I had the privilege of being the grade principal for this grade, so I have a lot of hakarat tov to them because they showed me the ropes. They put me through the ringer. They gave me a lot of amazing experiences, and I really will forever feel linked to them because of what they taught me. So one of the things I think we pride ourselves on here in the yeshiva is the care for students and the support. We have a robust guidance team. We have an incredible Pathfinders team. And our college guidance team, we're trying to move towards that direction of support and care that's personalized and specific for every student where they are in their place.
One of the things we were looking for was that college guidance would be warm. Kids would want to go. And from the week in school, there has been a change in terms of kids flocking to the office, kids leaving smiling. I haven't seen so many tears yet. But anyway, kids coming, we will, those are inevitable, but they're coming happy and excited and leaving positive. And one of the most exciting things we have is, almost with the exception of our veteran, it's basically a veteran given an almost entirely new college guidance team that we are excited about. These are people who come with incredible knowledge about the process. They're knowledgeable about specific schools, but they also, probably most importantly, want to know your child. They really care. Someone accosted me in the hall and said, wow, someone from college guidance called my parents. Why did they call? Why are they checking up on me? And I think that's a change, something we are trying to get, and that's why I'm excited, because I'm just going to introduce it, hand them over to you. They're going to share everything they have. But our director, new director, Ms. Emily Matahide, or Ms. Ma, that's what the kids call it. Ms. Ma is exceptional, and she's someone we are excited about, who brings a tremendous amount of experience, but really care and love. She loves everyone here. It's like amazing. Loves. Joel Wallowski, Joel, everyone loves her. And it's amazing, how she's really ingrained herself in so many conversations with the school and really gotten to know a lot of people. So I'm excited to turn this over to her. I'm going to go to the back. There's some seats in the front if you want to come to the front. Like, really. Yeah. I'm not. Miss Milog is over there. We can go to the back. We'll go to the back. You can come to the front. There's a seat there and some seats. Okay, all right. Thank you. Ms. Milog.
All right, the team's going to come around and hand out a little handout for you all. It'll go along with the PowerPoint for us to take home. But thank you all for coming. It's incredible to see all of you here. I know I spoke to some of you on the phone, but it's your child counselor. We'll keep it short and sweet today. We're here to just give you sort of a sense of what this office will feel and sound like in the coming weeks and months. But before anything, I really want to, we'll introduce ourselves. We'll talk a little bit about the specific ways that we're going to support you and all of your children this fall, this spring, until they decide exactly where they're going, until they have a plan and they are set. We'll talk about what your role is as a parent, ways that you can support them, ways that you can make this process a little less stressful for them. And then, of course, we'll answer questions. We'll leave time to chat with your child's counselor and all of that. So my name is Emily Matahide. I am coming from more than 10 years of college counseling experience, and this team is incredible. They bring with them high school counseling experience, college level, undergraduate, graduate level counseling. They've been at public institutions, private institutions, local institutions. They are incredible. And above all, they are here to help each one of your kids. They are kind, encouraging, supportive, and they know how to do the work. We have had kids in our office. There's there's students who come multiple periods of the day. There are kids, they just want to be there. They have questions, and they are all here to support, and it's been an incredible thing to see. So I'm Emily Matahide, and I'll have everyone introduce themselves so you can know who you might want to connect with later.
I am Christine Paula.
Maria Dressler. I'm Kristen Hall.
And I'll go.
All right. Yeah, so we're going to quickly give out a handout. It'll go along with the PowerPoint, just so you can leave with something a little more concrete.
If we could, one person per family would be helpful. If you have extra, just keep passing them forward. Hey, how'd you do that already?
One of the first things, I just want to reiterate to all of you as a parent, is our office is here to help your student, your child. We have an array of ways that we plan to support you throughout the rest of the semester and the school year. One of the first things that we'll be doing is holding individual meetings with each and every one of your kids. In these individual meetings, we will be discussing a balanced college list of schools where they think, hey, I actually will get into this school, no problem. Some maybe, reaching for the stars, I want them to reach. I want them to apply to whatever school they feel they may actually be a good fit for and do well in. Letters of recommendation, we will be working with them to get letters of rec from people, teachers who know them and can write letters that will make them shine in their college application. Document submission, we will take care of collecting what needs to be collected to send to the various schools that they will be applying to. We will hunt them down to find that information to make sure the schools get what they need. Writing support, we will be providing supplemental writing support, working along with a lot of the, we have some volunteer English teachers who have agreed to help with writing those letters and also, what do you call them? College essays. It's been a long day, you guys. Helping them write their college essays. We'll be holding events. We had senior day yesterday. We're holding this event for you all, for the parents. We'll be having workshops about how to fill out your applications. What is the college syllabus? We'll be teaching little mini classes about what your first year in school may be like if you choose to go. We'll also be hosting college rep visits. We have a list of schools that are coming with representatives to meet your students, to talk to them, so let them know what your campus is about. They can match a face to a name. So we'll be having those throughout the semester for your students to come to see what schools are out there and what's possible for them.
All right, so what is your role? We kind of, in our office, we kind of think of, right now, like when your students were freshmen, you wouldn't even let them get into a car by themselves. Senior year, they're driving that car towards the goal of college, Israel, spending a gap year in Israel, and the rest of their lives. So certainly, we're in the car with them, and you're in the car with them. So we've already gone over what our role is. Your role, part of it is going to be the parent rate. Tomorrow, you're going to get an email for you to fill out a quick form, 5 to 6 questions about your student, things that you think we need to know about your student as they go through the application process, maybe a little nugget that might help us write a letter of recommendation. We want to hear from you because your student knows themselves the best. You probably know them next best.
And I'll just one other thing, you mentioned letters of recommendations from teachers. We as counselors, part of the college process, a required piece is the counselor letter of recommendation. So this parent brief helps us bring your child to life. And so there are things about your child that we can never and will never know. So as much as you can fill in those gaps, the stronger those letters of recommendation would be that come from us. Oh, yes, Ms. Hittering.
Was there a parent questionnaire that we filled out that's different from?
This will be different. This will be particularly tailored to writing a letter of recommendation.
Next thing, early action or early decision. You may have heard these terms thrown around. We're going to go over it a little bit more in depth in a moment. But helping your child to decide, is applying to a school with an early decision binding application the right fit for them? Is early action a right fit for them? Are they going to have everything for their application ready, prepared, and set, ready to go to apply to applications that have November 1st deadlines? We're certainly going to have our financial aid night in October. That is going to be on Zoom, so you can be in the comfort of your own home, but we're going to be going over the application process and financial aid. I know that's a big concern for a lot of families. And also encourage. We're certainly wanting you to encourage your students throughout the application process, but not only just filling out the application, being engaged through this process. Attend the sessions that we have. Come and visit this is when our college representatives are coming. A lot of times the representatives that are coming to visit Flatbush are the representatives that are reading their applications. So to be able to say, yes, I know Stephen Shama, I met him when they came to visit. getting that, one-on-one attention and kind of getting that encouragement certainly helps. We're very excited to be working with your students this year.
Hi everyone. So a little bit more about applying early. So there are two types, early decision and early action. The deadlines are November 1st and November 15th usually. So what does that mean? They have to have everything done. All their applications, all their writing pieces have to be submitted by those deadlines. As I said, there are two types. So early decision. Early decision is binding. So what that means is if your son or daughter gets accepted to that school, they have to attend. It's essentially a legal contract. So how does that affect you as a family? You need to make sure that you're able to afford that. And what the easiest way to do that is going to jump down. Each individual college has what's called a net price calculator. So you can just go to the website, you can just Google it, and you'll answer some financial questions, and it'll give you an idea of what your financial aid package will look like. Again, this is binding, so if they're accepted, then they have to attend. Basically, with this, you want it to be their top choice. I always tell the students when they come, is this your dream school? Can you imagine if you got accepted to any other school that you would be disappointed that you can't attend that school because now you're legally contracted essentially to go to this school. So it needs to be their top choice, and it can only be to one school. So early decision, binding contract, one school, top choice. The school of their dreams, and again, it's you as a family, you're able to afford it, and you're able to do that by using the net price calculator. Again, obviously, you want your son or daughter, you want to make sure that they're a competitive student and that they're doing really well, good grades, or have shown significant improvement. That, in terms of grades and significant improvement and high achievement, that's going to also apply to early action. The main difference with early action is that it's non-binding and they can apply to several schools. So if there's 5 schools that they want to apply early to, the deadlines are essentially the same, November 1st, November 15th, but they can apply to 5 of them, and it's not a binding contract, obviously, because they're applying to more than one school. No top choice. So if a student comes to me and says, I really love these 3 schools, is it okay if I apply to all 3 of them early action? Absolutely, no questions asked.
And just to explain why we say that these make sense mostly for a student who's either done consistently well or improved. Because when you apply early decision, early action, or early decision, you're applying essentially with your 9th, 10th, and 11th grade grades only. So they're not really going to see senior year. So if there's someone who maybe had a tough semester, a tough year, senior year is a great time to show improvement. Not a great early action candidate, not a great early decision candidate. You know your kids, we're going to see your kids' transcript, we will be candid with them if they're not a good candidate for early action or early decision, but in the end, every choice about college is your choice. We can only advise. So again, just thinking about your student and their performance over the course of these past 3 years, think about that when you're having this conversation about early decision and early action.
What's the benefit of early decision?
Early decision, 1, your college process can be over in December. You know where you're going, it's done.
Not that as opposed to
Gives you occasionally a little bit of an edge. So if you look at, for example, rates of early decision acceptances versus regular decision acceptances, there are schools that are at this point taking up to 55–60% of their class in the early rounds. So yes, the statistics look that way, but it's also you're competing against a stronger pool. So it's not that, oh, I'll just do early decision and I'll get it. You need to be someone who would get in normally, or you need to be qualified, taking the right courses, performed well throughout high school, have a particular extracurricular profile. We're here to help with all of that. But it can give you an edge to get it.
So going into a little bit about SATs and ACTs, I know there have been a lot of questions about this, especially because of COVID, so we're here to kind of clear some of that up. So for this year, the vast majority of colleges and universities still will be test optional for this upcoming application process. So that means that students are not required to submit their SAT or ACT scores in this application process. Of course, if your student, studied really hard and did really well on the SAT or ACT, and it would only enhance their application, they should 100% submit that. But I think it's an opportunity for if students don't test out well, or it's really stressing them out, and maybe that's the conversation you can have with them. It's something you can consider taking off the table. So instead, colleges are looking at your students more holistically in terms of their academics, the rigor, the extracurriculars they do outside of the classroom, the recommendations that we're going to send, and all of the essays and writing samples as well. So they look at all of those things in terms of assessing whether or not they would be a good applicant. Some exceptions though to this test optional are schools such as Georgetown, MIT, and Yeshiva University Honors Program. So not generally Yeshiva University, but the Honors Program. So those schools, you do need to send SAT or ACT scores.
And just, this is often a point of confusion. Students can choose to send their scores to some schools and not others. So it's not an all or nothing situation. This is where we're here to help, right? Once we have a balanced list, we might say to your student, your child, send your scores to Maryland, BU, and Georgetown. Don't send them to WashU, Rice, and Chicago, right? We'll help with that. So it's not necessarily I'm going to send them nowhere or I'm going to send them everywhere. It's definitely a should and will be a case-by-case decision. All right, just some FAQs. Who's your child's guidance counselor? You should have received a call or an email. Your child received an email from Helen Kuznicki, who's not here this evening, but is the administrator of the college office. And she emailed out every student with their name and contact information of their counselor. I have a list. If you don't know, just come see me after this. I'll tell you who your child's counselor is. You'll find their contact information is on some of the handouts, but it's just first initial, last name at flatbush.org. Your kids know that as well. If you don't know my child, how are you going to write them a letter of recommendation? Fill out your parent form. The kids are going to fill out a questionnaire. We're going to get input from Rabbi Sklarin, Rabbi Galford, the grade advisors, department chairs. We have transcripts, their schedules. We'll do a lot of professional development around writing the counselor letter of recommendation. I assure you, everyone will have a strong letter. If you make sure your child does their questionnaire and you do your parent form. Don't worry about making it sound eloquent and perfect. You can bullet it out. You can write in one-on sentences. It doesn't matter. We'll make it sound beautiful. You just give us the information. And this is confusing. Can my child apply early decision and early action? Yes. So you choose the one early decision school, and then you can still do early action applications. But it's binding. How do I do that? Well, you submit. If your child gets into their ED school, they withdraw their applications from their early action schools. Happens all the time. It's okay. It's a practice that colleges are aware of. So definitely, you can decide with your child, okay, we're going to try ED for Brandeis, but let's do Maryland, Binghamton, early action. Let's go with this early timeline and get some answers early and have a sense of where we are around December instead of around April and May. Choice you can make as a family.
I just want to also say, not every school offers early decision. Not every school offers early action. Some schools offer early decision and early action. So by knowing the schools and where your children are applying will then dictate if early decision or early action is even an option at their school. So it's not everyone.
And again, in our individual meetings, we'll indicate your kid is also going to come home. I meant to put this on, but your child is going to leave their meeting with their counselor with a very clear, comprehensive checklist. Ask to look at it. That will have everything they need to do checked off. Will have everything they've done highlighted with clear instructions. It's everything they need to do. Take a picture of it. Hey, did you do this thing? Did you do this thing? That's going to be the child's guide through this process, and it can be yours also. So be aware of that. On that checklist, we will indicate next to Maryland, has early action, has this, has that. So we'll like give you all of that, just ask for that checklist and look at that with them regularly. If you're feeling overwhelmed and confused, I don't know what to do, there's so much to do, just use that checklist. It is everything on there is what needs to happen for your child to successfully go through this process. And last, how do I get in touch with my child's counselor? First initial, last name at Flatbush. Email, call, reach out, we're here to help.
How do early decision and zones?
Good question. You most often can't defer early decision, but you want to check with the college's own. So if you want to do,
I would just say it depends on the college.
Yeah, it
Each
depends on
college
the
has their own policies. Some colleges, if they get in early decision, they won't allow to defer. But some colleges actually do allow to defer. So it depends on the college. We have to check of which college it is.
Thank you. Can I ask another question?
Sure.
For a test optional school, is sending the SAT helpful? Like how does that work?
Yeah, I can help. So there is something that colleges publish called their middle 50%, okay? The middle 50% essentially means of all the students who applied in the last cycle, of those that were accepted, this is the range. We will know that. It's hard to find. They don't publicize it, they don't make it easy. If your scores are in or above that range, yes, it can help. If it's lower, it won't help. Yeah.
I'm super excited about the great team here.
Thanks.
Look, obviously you guys already do it. But, we have 6 weeks of early decision, 8 weeks of early action, and a whole new team here in place. What's the plan to get everyone up to speed and ready in such a short amount of time, the holidays and everything?
Yeah, good question. So we're new, but we're not new to college counseling. So that's, I think, an important distinction. We've done this work with many, many students before. The college process is the same, whether you're at this institution or another, in terms of the literal processes. So today, every counselor sent out a link to their students. We have enough slots to see every student with plenty of time before any early application for our initial meeting. In that meeting, we will make sure your child is ready, at least looked at, I would say the completed parts of their application, know exactly how to submit, know exactly what to do, we'll support them through supplemental writing, and we'll have as many follow-up meetings as we need. The infrastructure is there for each counselor to be able to work with each student between now and November 1 with Sukkot, with Rosh Hashanah, with Yom Kippur, all included. It's crazy.
Something, if I just can add on that, something that's new for this year for all seniors, we created in their schedule something called a win period. Stands for what I need. We understood that seniors have a lot going on, they have applications, and there's a lot going on, they didn't have so much time to do so. So we built in, during their regular school day, a period that they can take care of what I need. That means meeting with their counselors, meeting with other teachers, working on essays, working on applications, working on other things. It's built into their schedules, they have time to do so.
We didn't calendar this out, but just so you're aware, I believe that these are October 24th to 28th. We will have application workshops, particularly for students applying for early action or early decision. That will be space, technology, and us. We can do an entire application if we really needed to in those days if a kid comes to one of those sessions. Ideally, that's their last check, right? So they have individual meetings and they have this opportunity for multiple counselors to eye their applications before anything gets in. Yeah.
Just to follow up on the test optional
Yes.
situation, what's your honest assessment as to how not submitting
It doesn't
your
hurt.
scores?
That's my
Everyone
honest,
says that, but is it really true?
it's my honest assessment. I was on a webinar with Berkeley, Northwestern, U Chicago, and Rice yesterday. They are not using it against you.
Well, do they say, well, we know why this?
No, the assumption is
Not like
no.
that.
It's truly not like that. And that's the messaging I've gotten over the past, through COVID, like it's it's very clear to me that it's not something that they're making assumptions about. They know how to read an application without them.
And there have been hundreds of schools across the country that have been tested optional since before the pandemic even happened.
Yeah, but it did change the last.
It's certainly changed, but it's not a new thing.
Would someone apply early decision, early action to Macaulay, but not to the regular college, or you would do it to both at the same time? Like if you wanted Macaulay to one of the city colleges, would that be separate than applying regular if you were doing one early decision, like you do Macaulay early
For
decision?
CUNY, you mean
Yeah,
specifically? Like, okay, so if you do the Macaulay Honors application, you are checking off both. So if you do Macaulay and first, you're actually assessed for regular. So you don't need to do two separate applications. I'm not sure if I'm
No,
understanding.
because if you do early decision, it's for Macaulay or for both. I mean, they can't, they would hold you to go to the city college if you didn't get into the Macaulay for early decision.
Macaulay doesn't have early decision.
Oh,
But Macaulay is an early application. It is due the 16th of November.
But it doesn't have that binding.
But it's not a binding agreement.
oh, so it's more like early action.
If my child had like a F freshman year, but then improved, does that mean I can't do early decision, or I can?
No, so if you've done well consistently or you have an upward trend, so growth, those are great candidates for ED or EA.
So if you don't submit SAT scores, what are the schools, how do they assess the child?
So they're pretty much looking at everything else, right? So anything that so the application itself, the essays, the recommendations. I feel like a lot of colleges forever have always been saying, we look at your children holistically, we look at everything, we want to understand who they are. And there's always been that little thing of like saying test scores, GPA test scores, right? I think with the test scores being optional now, that's a really true statement that they're actually, holding on to now. So I think it's kind of everything else to kind of paint that picture of who is the student, would we want them to be a part of our community, and would they kind of fit in here.
So does that put more weight on the essay, like it has to be like the most
It doesn't
amazing?
put more weight in any particular area. I would say add 25% to every piece. So add 25% to the essay, to your extracurriculars, to your recommendations, and to the rigor of your transcript. So not your grades necessarily, but your grades and how difficult your classes are based on what's offered to you at the yeshiva of college. That's always been the most important, and now it's even more important.
Yeah, when will you be meeting with parents also? Like, do you meet with parents?
So we will, moving forward, be meeting with junior parents, but call us, email us, we'll make it work.
So when you have the meeting with the kids, let's say that you have to decide which schools you're doing, you're not.
No, parents are not at that meeting.
Can parents be involved?
In that particular meeting, no, but we are happy to do calls, Zoom meetings, address parent issues, and again, ask to see that checklist after they have their meeting. Yeah? Oh, are we?
Yeah, so I do want to say, we're going to stay here all night long, I guess, to answer any questions, but I just want to reemphasize that we're here to partner with you. Throughout the whole entire year, the grade advisors, the intro guidance counselors, college guidance, we're here to partner with you. And we're really excited. We're really excited for your students to take their passions, take their interests, take what they've learned in all these years, and this year, and to go see. Part of our mission is for our students and our graduates to succeed, lead, and serve in the communities and the world at large. And we're doing so, we're giving them everything that they can in order for them to do so, and we're so excited to see them at graduation, but not just at graduation on that day, but rather future in 5 years and 10 years to come, all the successes that they bring, and we're with you and carrying them on along the way. So thank you so much for coming. If you'd like to stay, we're going to be staying here answering questions. There's also going to be our meeting in room 101.